Alrighty, hello. It's time for more art to happen. Starting a little later than I wanted, that's okay. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another art stream. We're working on more Eldritchrune. These are going to be some kind of gnarly pages this time, so watch out. They're going to get a little rough. That is what I had available for that. So, that's what we're going to do. I hope you all are doing well so far on this day, which is Sunday again. So we are getting soon. Hello, thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing well. And these pages are a bit gnarly. Getting into some more violent stuff, which that happens. I'm glad you're feeling a little better. Ugh, back pain and stuffiness is no fun. Ugh, being sick is no fun. Ugh. They are yucky. I've been kind of stuffy too. I don't know if it's like being sick or if like it's maybe a seasonal allergy thing, even though I don't have allergies. I have noticed that also her fingers look way too fat there. I have noticed that there's a pretty high amount of pollen in the air. Like I was walking through the park the other day and I'm like, there are a lot of little white puffs. There's a lot of trees dumping their pollen. Maybe that explains why my sinuses are feeling a little bad, even though I don't have allergies, don't have seasonal allergies. I'm like, there's got to be something going on with that much, you know, little white puffs in the air. So I can only imagine how that is for somebody who does have seasonal allergies. Probably quite miserable right now. All the trees are like, please, we want to make more little trees, please. And we will spread our tree seeds everywhere. Also because it's getting a little bit warmer in here, which is fine. We're almost at June. Good grief. Trees, exactly. Baby trees. Anyways, hello. Thank you for coming. Mayor Holiday is about to have a really bad time. I highly doubt she will have it this bad in canon. If she does, whoa Nelly. That would be a heck of a thing. Also, we are only 10 days out from new chapters. By tomorrow, we're going to be in the single digits. I don't know how to feel. That's wild. Single digit days until it's out. I knew it would go fast, but still. Gotta prepare for those days. At least I've already done my replays, so I'm good on that, but other things must get done too. I'm gonna have to avoid the internet until I finish the new chapters. Let's finish my work. Elfies, are you watching from your rock? She's been out and about a bit more lately. I know. It's gone so fast. I'm excited and I'm nervous. I hope I like what happens. I'm sure I'll like what happens, but also I hope I like what happens. Weird position to be in. We're gonna blaze through it and it's gonna be like, okay, when's the next one? When's the next chapter? Which we probably won't hear about until after these ones have been out for a bit. Oh boy, fighting Joe. Well, that's the hard one. That's, you know, you guys saw in my replay. That's where I struggled. That's where I had to do quite a few tries. So I don't know. Maybe next bosses will be easier, harder. We'll find out. Spamton felt much easier to get through. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about all the work and personal drama. That's definitely a, that will definitely put a damper on things. Hopefully it improves. Oh my, Pepsi. I wish I could take naps, but I can't. Naps make me feel terrible. I don't feel rested after them. Oh no. I don't know, those teacups might be worse. I hate the teacups. Oh good grief, what was the breakage I had on her things? That point, that point. Okay, I'm gonna have to try and remember that. I'm trying to remember her broken antlers. Yeah, that'd be hard to start on like 15 minutes, unless you got really lucky. The Jevil madness. I'll actually do some copy pasting of my files, at least on my Steam playage. So I know I'm gonna want to do like one regular file and then something where I'm a bit more percentage. I'm not really gonna be doing like weird roots though. Oh yeah, I mean we've only got 10 days left. That's not much time. Especially if you got work and stuff to do. It's up to you. I guess it's depending on, you know, what's more relevant, like which one is more important to you. Whether you want to do Yellow Pacifist or the Eldritchrune playthroughs. I'm just hoping that we're not required to do any kind of weird route, because I'm fine with people else doing it. I just don't want to do it myself. Ooh. Let me drink a lot of water, because it feels very dry around here. Maybe it's weather stuff. So much stuff left to do. There's still many fan games needed. I need to try Outer Tail, of course, since that's done. I don't know. I feel like I guess the Eldritchrune would be the more pressing one since the new chapters are coming up, whereas you can do Undertale Yellow at any time. There's not any pressing need for it, but that's just my interpretation. You might want to do Yellow more. Yeah, if your files are ready, then that's good. My files are ready, though I'll probably just double check on them. Again, I think I missed one item. I think I missed the tension bow, but otherwise should be good. And I'm still sad that I went through the trouble to get all the character teas and they're all going to be rotten. Sad. A sad time. hair. That's what's going on with her hair. I've never played any Fire Emblem before. Maybe someday I will. Too many games to play, not enough time. Oh yeah, that's a whole nother issue. I will just be doing stuff on Steam. I will get a Switch 2 when I feel like it. I'm not dying for it right now. I'm happy with the Switch I have. Oh yeah, I gotta get them eggs. And you may not need to. I think Mayor Holiday will be thoroughly stomped, literally, physically. And figuratively by the time we're done. Yeah. I will record. I need to mention this on my socials, but basically I'm going to record my initial reactions. And then I'll actually stream proper run with friends later. Why is her hand backwards? Did I? Okay, why? That's not correct. I don't know what was going on there. All dark magic. I wonder if we're gonna get anything more about elemental pairs going in. We've gotten that as a hint, but still don't know quite how it works. Let's add another gameplay element. We got Kit. I figured the elemental pairs has to mean something. It was brought up, at least outside of the game. All kinds of art. What would be nice, actually, is if, like, I don't know, there's a way to read enemies and they could tell what kind of elements they had. Because you can do that in their recruited state, but it'd be nice to be able to do that just when you first encounter them, to be like, okay, do I need to use a certain elemental ability here? That would be useful. I just got kicked by a giant deer. That would hurt. If I can't believe it. Oh, I gotta post to my Patreon too. I can't believe it's almost June. Ah-ha! It's sneaking up. Yeah, we're almost at single digits. Okay. Herbivores are the scarier things to encounter, especially when large. I imagine we're going to get a bunch of new characters in chapters 3 and 4. I'm going to be so confused by La Nino and El Nino. I'm going to keep wanting to be like El Nino, La Nina. I'm like, why did you switch the articles, not the names? It doesn't make sense anymore. No. I know that's probably the joke, but ah. You can draw whatever you want. No one can stop you. Yeah, I swear there is something going around because I just feel like this sinus pressure. So I had some really weird dreams last night. Those are never fun. I don't like that. Please. Weirdly uncomfortable dreams. Those are never fun. Ugh. Yeah, you can draw whatever you want forever. No one can stop you. I hope next chapters we at least get to see what Mayor Holiday actually looks like. We can stop guessing. Oh, well, we're just getting started. Again, bit of a few violent pages. Things do not go well for her. Angry giant, horror deer is mad at you. Solid advice in life. Don't live your life in a way where a giant angry horror deer is mad at you. Yep, exactly. That's my important life advice for you. Don't live your life in a way that a giant ice horror deer will be mad at you. It's extremely relevant to your everyday life. Rudy's not going to do very well either. Sorry, Rudy. I hope he does better in canon. I actually don't want him to die. I'm not entirely convinced he will. Like, some people see it as a done deal. Not sure. Not sure on that. Ooh. It's okay to feel bad for Rudy, even though he did participate in the child sacrifice thing too. It was definitely his wife who was orchestrating it. Plus, you know, kind of traumatizing to see your spouse get beaten up by a giant horror ice deer. Not terribly fun. His face is so long. Why are you such a long face, sir? Yeah, and lost his daughter already. Why the long face? And again, I guess all the holidays kind of have long faces. In canon, that is. Very long faces. Ugh. Ugh, seriously, my sinuses feel yucky. I'll tell you what, I will be very annoyed if I get sick right before Eldritchrune comes out, but I'm doing my best. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. May your holiday is not having a good day today. I'm kind of wondering if this is the most violent that the series gets. Maybe not, but it's up there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Maybe it's not the most, but it's in like top 5. Again, I still have to figure out what's going on with if I ever do the Spampton boss battle. And that would probably be pretty gnarly. I think of some really solid ideas for that one. And I might get super overshadowed by like, whoa, I want to do this from chapters 3 and 4. She angry. She yelling. She yells at your face. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. Wahaha. Well, is in fact yelling at her about her actions. It's like, hey, you did crappy things. You're gonna hurt for it. Literally. You felt your sins crawling on your back. You felt your sins kicking you in the face. You felt your sins curb stomping you. That's such a raw line from the original, the original game, though. No wonder it stuck with people. Now you think about what you did to that video game character. So I gotta go back and do more backgrounds as well. It's just all like broken stuff. It's gonna be broken stuff for days. For weeks even. I do like this one of Carol though. She's also angry. It's a couple pages. I don't think we'll be able to get through this entire part today, but I at least got up to like page 9 or so, hopefully. We'll see. Actually, it might be less, because I can't stay too late today. I've got a few other things I need to do. So, noon is absolutely my cutoff time. Yeah, it's a couple pages. We may or may not actually get to the actual death pages today. They're a ways down. Ooh. Drawing long hair on people's faces is fun though. Look all scraggly. Scraggle. Scraggle rock. Let's see. I might need to take my stretch break soon. I kind of wonder if I shouldn't get new keyboard. The one I have is not great, but unfortunately it's also, the mouse is also paired with it, and the mouse is doing fine, so I'm not sure how it would work with mouse and keyboard having different dongles, different USB dongles. Okay, we got this page done, and I think I need to take a stretch break real quick. I'll move on to page 3. Ooh. Stretch break time.
Yeah, what you doing with your leg?
She just like waved her back leg like, just leave it hanging over my rock. She's been sleeping in weird positions lately. Oh, broken shift keys are not helpful, no. You gotta use those for a lot of things. I probably couldn't function without a shift key because I use it for hotkey purposes. But I have noticed that, yeah, stuff like the control key and the shift key are getting sticky sometimes, which I'm not fond of that. It is not the nicest keyboard. Just got an okay one at Best Buy. See these nice flashy LED keyboards. Nice good tackety ones is what I need. Something with good haptic feedback. Okay. I do miss being able to like take a keyboard apart and clean the keys and put it back together. That seems a lot harder to do nowadays. Like they make these things so you can't dismantle them yourself, at least not easily. I recall a time when I was much younger, we had a big old, especially for a Mac, we had a big tackety keyboard. I was like, this thing's filthy. I'm just going to take it upon myself to clean it. So I did that. I pulled all the keys off of it, kept them in order, and, you know, carefully cleaned each one. Cleaned the inside of the keyboard where all this dust and gunk had, you know, settled up, and then I put everything back, and it was just like immensely satisfying to take apart one thing when I don't know much about mechanics at all and clean it and put it back together. And I don't know if I can do that with today's keyboards. They're not really designed to be taken apart on your own, at least not by an idiot like me. Same thing with Mouse's, Mises, I don't know. Well, I honestly might open the door to let in more cool air. I don't know. Alfie, what do you think about that? You've been on your rock all morning. Just staring. Yay for a brush. Ugh. I need to get speaking of, I need to get my hair cut at some point, but I wanted to do it at the end of July, or towards the end of July. So I'm like, how long can I keep my hair a big scraggle mess until end of July? I could get it cut sooner, but I don't know. Alright, be right back for a few more stretches.
Yeah, please. Are you stretching the leg? Are you stretching? Stretching.
Alright, I'm coming back. Oh, I just realized I should also open up the doodle page just in case people want to redeem that. I think if I had a, you know, pet the Lynx thing set up, I'd have to figure out how to do that. I would have to work. I'm sure there's a way to do it. People have done it, but I'd have to figure that out. I'll open that just in case we want it. Yeah, I should. Maybe those are for more complicated. Sorry, those are more for more complicated tubers. Because I just have a pretty simple one, but there's got to be some way to like do a little pat on the head option. I already started drawing on the wrong layer immediately. Yeah, my PNG tuber thing is very simple. Just basic of basic setups. I just wanted to have something other than nothing, which is what it was before. I kick you. And then I kicked her, sir. Oh, such an odd movie. And yet beloved. Pretty sure I saw it in theaters when it came out, now that I think about it. That and Titan AE when that came out. A command for lurking. I mean, if you're lurking, you're technically not doing anything, right? So, what would that do? How would that count? Okay. I didn't know that things existed for that. I just figured if people want to lurk, they want to lurk, and that's fine. Oh, I'm learning all kinds of things. Ooh. But yeah, head pat command would be cute. I wonder if there's a way to, like, I don't know, automatically set it up with the PNG tuber. But I don't know. I'm not a tuber. I'm a root vegetable. Wait, tubers often are root vegetables. I really gotta do more human practice so I can be like, okay, this is how you draw somebody from this angle, because that one's always a tricky one. You're looking up their nose. Not very flattering, but that's okay. Look into my eyes, look into my nose, look into my mouth. Says the Spamton. And she's still trying to get up. Well, hey, then you can get a head start on it. You are not bound by anybody's time but your own. Which is already a scary prospect, I know. Her hair is very out of place. And these stains are not coming out of that dress. Also, one thing I'm also looking forward to for new chapters, I get to expand my giant playlist of remix music. I'm like, come on, favorite music artists. Show me your cool remixes. I shall expand my playlist even more. Mwahaha. I don't know, because I don't care one iota for the remakes. I don't like the live action remakes. They make me very deeply unhappy. Especially after hearing what they did to Lilo and Stitch. I'm like, can we stop? Can we stop with this nonsense? Stop it. You jerks. We're gonna remake all the movies in the live action. Let's start remaking like The Godfather is animated. Lawrence of Arabia, animated. The Crying Game, animated. We're animating all of them now. Oh, shush, Adobe. Get your butt out of here. Nope, I have not heard any good things at this point. Nothing good. But of course, people are probably still going to go and see it. Well, this was good enough for us to make another one. And once they do Bambi, I'm going to go to their house and push everything off their shelves. Honestly, I'm just sad that Chris Sanders participated, but I guess he's like, whatever, I can cash out. Still. Meh. Meh. Yeah, like, again, why are we even doing a How to Train Your Dragon live action remake? Why are we doing that? Because the dragons themselves, Toothless is still animated, only now it looks worse, and the lighting is worse. Why are we doing this? It's so dang obnoxious. Remember that thing you liked from your childhood? Here it is again, but worse. Give us money for that. No, thank you. Yeah, I refuse to see the Lion King remake. I refuse. Because the Lion King was a very important movie to me in my youth. This came out at a very valuable time. How do you butcher Ohana, the point of the movie? Whole bit where it's like, that means family. It means nobody gets left behind. Kingdom Hearts did it better. The Vimeo game understands it better. Yeah, just get the original one. With its very beautiful watercolor backgrounds. I don't want to see the clip of the evil movie. I don't want to see the junk. They got rid of, I know they got rid of like Gantu for unknown reasons, or because it's too hard to make him in live action. Oh, maybe you shouldn't have done live action then. And then they kind of split Cobra Bubbles' character into two people. Why isn't Encanto on Blu-ray? That's a good one. Maybe they don't sell much stuff on Blu-ray anymore, which is still obnoxious. No, I'm pretty bad about that too. Okay, no, I do know the last movie that I went and saw in theaters with friends was Flow. And that was absolutely worthwhile. I'm really glad I went to saw it. Or maybe it was The Day the Earth Blew Up, but I think it was Flow. I think Flow was... Or was it? Okay, it was one of those two. Actually, I think it was The Day the Earth Blew Up. Whichever one came out later. Both of those were worthwhile theater purchases. They were very fun. Although I think when we went to saw The Day the Earth Blew Up, it was like mostly animation people in there. There wasn't that many kids. It was like a whole bunch of like Vancouver animators who were all like, yeah, Looney Tunes, yeah. And I'm like, there needs to be more kids here. Why didn't they advertise this more? Kids would love this. It was really funny. But yeah, I'm also really glad I went and saw Flow in theaters because it was extremely good. I cried. I don't know, why would you need to replace Gantu? He's a perfectly decent villain. He's perfectly decent. I just didn't like the fact that he's a huge guy, so it's kind of hard to put in there, like, you know, logistically, I guess. No, that's not what it means. Like, Jumba is kind of a bad guy, but also he's, like, you know, he is slightly misunderstood. He ends up being one of Lilo's funny gay alien uncles at the end. And I also know they did not let Pleakley cross-dress. Oh no, what will the kids think if there's an alien in a dress? That's not normal. That probably is better. Again, Kingdom Hearts probably got Ohana stuff better than this movie did, it sounds like. Having Stitch is your cute little summon who licks the screen and helps you beat a Partless. And he's cute. And then we get to see Terra being like, no, actually he's good because he didn't break my thing. Ain't that the truth? I'm just boggled by why they would think these are good changes to the movie. That this fixes what people want. Make a wish, honey. Yeah, I think she has a appropriately serious demise. Although I think if Susie was here, she'd just be like, dibs, dibs, I want all of it. And Noelle will be like, okay, sure, honey. Yeah, I felt bad for that guy in Jurassic Park though. I'm like, he was not like he was not like the lawyer, like and hey, leave some. Here's PS2. It's not like you know, in the first Jurassic Park, the lawyer gets eaten. And you're like, oh, that lawyer was, you know, obnoxious and kind of silly. So it's fun when he gets eaten by the T-Rex on the toilet, and also, you know, he abandoned the kids. So, haha. But when in Jurassic Park 2, when the guy gets eaten, like, he's trying to help the heroes, and then they just pull him apart. It's like, oh, that guy didn't deserve to go like that. That's sad. Maybe that's the point, but it's more fun to watch, you know, horrible people get eaten than it is, you know, people you like get eaten. This is her personal vendetta. But Susie's like, but I want the crunchies. Like Scar the Lion King. Yeah, it's been a long time. I read both the original Jurassic Park and The Lost World as a kid. I don't remember much of what happened except for some scenes that were in the books that weren't in the movie. But yeah, again, lawyer's death by T-Rex, fun. That guy's death, brutal, but less fun because he was not a bad guy. He was just trying to help. Especially since it was, I forget the characters' names, but it was the lady scientist's fault for moving the baby T-Rex. Like, yeah, you fixed his leg, but then the T-Rexes were like, well, now this is our space. You moved our baby. Again, I'm not sure the movie's quite figured out that nice balance of, you know, oh, we want to, you know, see cool things happen, and also we want to see annoying people get eaten by dinosaurs and stuff like that. Because, like, in Jurassic World, there was that one lady that was like, okay, yeah, she was kind of a little obnoxious. Then they just gave her this, like, 5-minute, really drawn-out death where, like, 5 different dinosaurs like carry her around and tear her apart and all that stuff, and it's like, is that necessary? Kind of taking the fun out of it. I have actually heard that what is it? There's a animated TV show that was on Netflix for Jurassic Park that I've actually heard was pretty good. It's like, I think it's like Camp Cretaceous or something. And while it's for kids, it, like, you know, still has better, scarier dinosaur deaths and stuff like that. Kind of better understands the whole point between, like, you know, yes, we want to see the scary dinosaurs eat people, and also the people we want, you know, to not die. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense for a movie adaptation. You gotta consolidate, usually. Yeah, there was an animated series. I think it might still be going on Netflix, I believe it was, where it's like a lot of like teen characters dealing with the dinosaurs, and supposedly it's pretty decent. Yep, more series to look at. Oh, I got through that one a little quicker. More bad stuff's happening in this one. She's still getting beat up. Although honestly, what I don't know, at least from what I heard from like the most recent Jurassic World or whatever is like, people don't even care about regular dinosaurs, so we made mutant dinosaurs. And it's like, what are you talking about? People don't care about regular dinosaurs. Why are you putting, like, you know, Cloverfield T-Rex here? This doesn't make sense. Where is, like what makes the dinosaurs so cool and scary from Jurassic Park is not that they're big scary monsters, it's that they're just animals that are really big and can eat you. Like, I just think about that thing that was circulating on YouTube for a while, where an animator basically took, you know, like some of the raptor scenes from the original Jurassic Park and re-edited and recomposited them so that they were more realistic raptors compared to, like, you know, the raptors that we know as of today. And, like, those are really scary. Like the more recent looking raptor designs, or what we know about raptors now, you know, how they're very bird-like, so they covered them in, you know, feathers and gave them, like, kind of, you know, bird eyes, bird movements. It was scary. It was like, wow, this giant bird with big sickle claws is coming to get me. That's scary. You don't need to make them into mutants. And yeah, you can absolutely make the herbivores really scary. Again, if you're doing them like real life animals, giant herbivores are more threatening. They're scarier than carnivores, because carnivores were like, I don't want to touch that. I got to conserve my energy. Whereas a giant herbivore is like, what, you want to go? You want to go? I'm going to mess you up. Like, they'll come after you. So imagine, like, you know, people being scared of a deer or a moose or a rhinoceros, and imagine that's a triceratops. She got chomped instead. Exactly. She did get chomped instead. But yeah, you could do a really scary thing with herbivores. Honestly, again, one of the scariest dinosaur things I remember seeing was that episode of Primal with the zombie dinosaur, where, like, a Brachiosaurus gets infected with zombie plague and then goes after Spear and Fang. That episode legit scared the crap out of me. That was a really scary episode of television. I was like, oh, this is a Brachiosaurus zombie's coming for you. Like, oh my goodness, you could do such scary stuff with just the herbivores. Like, I like Jenny Nicholson's thing for Jurassic World 2, where it's like, instead of just like, you know, oops, there's a volcano on the island, it's like, oh, what if, you know, something human, you know, infected the dinosaurs, like people were touching the dinosaurs with sunscreen and then they got a dinosaur rabies or something. So now you've got, you know, herbivores with dinosaur rabies going after you. There's all kinds of cool things you can do with them as giant extinct animals instead of, and then they were also monsters. It's like, but they're not. They're just big animals. Lean into them being big animals that are outside of their time. And that's why they're scary. I almost worked on Sonic Prime. Maybe not almost, but I tried. I was sad I didn't get that. Tried to storyboard on it, but it was not meant to be. I did meet Sonic's actor at a convention once. Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. I don't know, man. Like, I grew up with Jurassic Park. I was there when the first movie came out. We had all the toys. We had a whole bunch of Jurassic Park toys. It was one of those movies I, like, rewatched over and over again when I was, like, 10 years old. And then I see the Jurassic World stuff, and I'm like, this does not look fun at all. Which is sad, because it's dinosaurs. How do you make that not fun? Again, what makes them scary is that they're big animals. Just like Noelle's a really big animal and she's gonna go chomp. She's gonna go chomp on the mare. I might need to stop soon to do my stretches. I don't know if we're gonna get to the chomping page, but we will see. Animated film of White Fang. I don't think I've even seen the original White Fang or read the book. It's supposed to be one of those books you read in school. I don't think we ever got to it. I need to read more xenofiction. Yeah, I feel like maybe White Fang wasn't one of the ones we read in school, but I feel like it kind of was. Although the one that I grew up reading in school, at least 4th grade, we had to read Island of the Blue Dolphins, because that was a California-specific book. Still pretty good, though. Because Island of the Blue Dolphins is about a Chumash girl. And Chumash is one of the native tribes of California. Oh, you read Island of the Blue Dolphins? That's a good book. Or White Fang. I haven't read White Fang, but... yeah, that was one of the ones we read. I think that was a 4th grade book. We had, maybe people didn't have as big a unit on it as we had. We had a pretty big unit on Island of the Blue Dolphins. We had to do like a bunch of like other history and craft stuff around it too. I'm trying to remember what other books we read at that age, and I'm having a hard time remembering. Remember that one. Well, that's what a lot of, writing book reports can be sometimes. Getting close enough. Just don't use ChatGTP for that. Learn how to write your own BS. It's literally a useful skill. If you have to write BS, at least it's your own BS. Not anybody else's. Alright, once I finish this panel, we'll take another stretch break and I'll get my orange juice. Alphys will continue to stare at me from her rock. Last night she tried to kind of get halfway up onto her steps. Yeah, it's something like that. Basically, yeah, she's a native Chumash girl. She ends up getting stranded on the island after, I don't remember, her people might have been driven out or something. And so she's trying to get by and survive on her own. There's some wild dogs on the island and she befriends one of the dogs. And I think he dies or something. Oh no. But yeah, it's a lot of it about her trying to survive on her own. With the help of the dog. Maybe his name Ron too? I don't remember the dog's name. Yeah, for us that was a 4th grade book. And again, we had like a whole unit on it because it's relevant to, California geography and Native American tribes and stuff like that. So we went over, California geography with that and history. And I feel like we even did some hey, let's try some chew mash foods kind of thing. Yeah. There's like these blue dolphins that you see sometimes she sees from the shore. She learns like how to fish on her own and stuff like that. I don't remember how it ends. I think she meets back up with someone in the tribe again, but I don't quite recall. It's been a long time since I've read that book. I think her dog dies though, because that was kind of a running theme. Easy way to introduce kids to the concept of death is their dog dies. That and Where the Red Fern Grows, in which the dogs both die. But I don't think Where the Red Fern Grows was required reading. Maybe it was. So Where the Red Fern Grows is very, very much a boy and his dog story, whereas Island of the Blue Dolphins is less that and more of a, like lone survival story. I remember in Island of the Blue Dolphins, I think because she's on an island, she has access to whale bones, so she makes a lot of stuff out of whale bone. All kinds of stuff. I have not heard of that book. All kinds of children's books. I remember, especially the fancy children's books that won awards, we would usually get a copy and it would have, like a print of a medal on it to be like, this book won such and such children's book award. Made it look all fancy. It won a prize. Children's books are really hard to write, honestly. People don't give enough credit to just how tricky it is to write a decent children's book. And you have to keep in mind, not only themes and all the regular stuff, but like, okay, what kind of vocabulary can you use? What's your sentence structure like for this particular age group? It's hard. It's not easy. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch and water and juice and stuff. Alphys will be here to entertain you. coming back for some more. Ooh, Prince of Egypt. Now that's a good movie. That's a good one. Man, it was so nice when DreamWorks first started out and they're like, instead of copying Disney, we're gonna do our own daring, brave stories about a, deeply personal subject matter to millions of people. And then Katzenberg was like, nah, we should just copy Disney, but, make fun of them. Katzenberg. And the problem is, then Shrek made like $1 billion, so it worked. I know. Like, DreamWorks was at their best when they were taking, like, loving but, like, funny but loving genre send-ups. Like, Kung Fu Panda. Send-up of the Kung Fu genre. Really good movie. Or How to Train Your Dragon. Send-up of fantasy movies. Really good take on it. Beloved movie. When they were at their worst is when they were trying to be like, haha, what if we were Disney but irreverent and making fun of it? Like, Shark Tale or Ants. Actually, I still need to see The Wild Robot. I got distracted by Flo, but I should have seen The Wild Robot. I've heard that's very good. Yeah, it's because A Bug's Life felt more sincere. And Ants had just some very weird humor. I don't know, even when I saw it as a kid at the time, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I think the reason why Shrek lasted as long as it did is because it also had sincerity. It was funny and irreverent, but it was also sincere. That's what people like and remember. They like the fact that, there is a message here about, where beauty actually lies and all that stuff. And not having to conform to society standards. Good lessons. It seems like the only lessons they took of it is like, let's make fun of Disney. That's what everybody likes. And no, we actually want some sincerity from you. Like the worst parts of Shrek are the parts where, like, he's deliberately poking fun at Disney. Like, those are the most cringe parts of Shrek. Well, it's just the characters doing their own things and being their own characters. That's the stuff people like. I've lost a lot of it got turned into memes. Like somebody once told me. We're going to reuse popular songs instead of writing our own songs. To be fair, I did listen to the Shrek soundtrack a lot while I was working on homework as a kid. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming by. Oh yeah, I was about to say, when did I do a Shrek drawing? And I was like, oh yeah, it was them singing along somebody once told me. Do they have Shrek in their universe? Probably, but I feel like it would be called something else. What? I don't know. It'd be very funny if it was iWorks Land, though. eWorks Land. We know that the concept of Beauty and the Beast exists in this universe, so that implies that Disney exists. Like in the movie, yeah, just like in the movie. Which then makes me wonder, is it just played straight? Where maybe in their version of Beauty and the Beast, the Beast is just a monster and was always a monster and does not turn into a human at the end of the movie. Because otherwise there's some weird questions about, like, is that humans making fun of monsters? We're gonna make a movie about how one of you is an awful person. And we learn to love you despite your terrible flaws. Like, that's kind of mean. And yet we know they make both entertainment for both humans and monsters, because Susie mentions, oh yeah, I love giant movies. They're better than the giant human movies. Which implies there are giant human movies. Okay. She is yelling. It's such a difficult pose to draw. Oh yeah. Again, don't piss off the giant herbivores. They will stomp you. Okay, have a good lunch. Thanks for always hanging out. Oh, you've got her really mad. Now it's time for super ouchies. Yeah, I can't stay super late for drawing on this part, sadly, so this might be a situation where we do not get to chompings, munchings, and crunchings. There's a lot of talking before that. Yeah, it probably would really hurt, actually. Who's hurt? Maybe that's why she doesn't have them in canon, which is kind of sad because I like the idea of hoof hands. That seems pretty clear that she's supposed to have just regular fingers. I'm like, she's a deer monster. Let her have hoof hands. She can make it work. Yes, that getting punched by that would probably hurt. Yeah, true. I'm sure there's other things that are not canon that people do. Like, for example, I prefer drawing Susie with 4 fingers, even though she technically has 5 fingers. Same with the dreamers. I'm like, you don't look like 5-fingered guys. You look like you have 4 fingers. I'll see people like trying to give little tails to the dreamers, which that's fine. It'd be cute with some tails. Unlike right now, which is not cute. You're getting your leg smashed in. How's this for hoof hands? Hoof hands on your ankles. Once again, more looking up characters' noses. I've got to practice that more. I'm pretty sure she had like a bruise or something on her shoulder there. It's about to get worse. Yeah. Go back in here later with little gaps here. Ugh. See, Noelle punch somebody. You have to stand up for herself and punch them. But yeah, hoof hands, that would probably hurt. Get him. Get him. Honestly, if Noelle had hoof hands, it would probably hurt more to be punched by her than by Susie. Even if Susie's got probably more power behind it. Nice. Yeah, forget let Susie say fuck, let Noelle say fuck. Although if language is now part of the thing, maybe we'll get that. It'd actually be extremely funny if it was, like everybody would expect, the curse to come out of Susie instead it comes out of Noelle. They're like, oh, Noelle! Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Some scary, scary pages. That's still good, still good. It would still be funny if it, yeah, everybody's expecting it from Susie, because she's got, you know, the Shit Squad option for her team name. And then the first one to swear is actually Noelle. Surprise! And she's like, I can finally say the tier 2 swear word. Once again, very long face, as he has to yell. To listen later. Ruby, you can't yell like that. You're sick. I don't know if I got enough chances where Rudy does get to be sick. Maybe in a future part. I don't know. Like, I'll stomp you again. We already know from the weird route that Noelle can be powerful scary. It'd be even cooler to see her be powerful scary on her own terms, as opposed to being forced into it. But, on the other hand, it's like, oh no, what could make her be powerful scary on her own terms? It's clear that she does not want to be. Oh my goodness, that is late. But thank you for coming. Hope it's not too late there. We are doing this scene in which Mayor Holiday is having a very, very bad day. Mayor Holiday and the no good, very bad giant ice deer attack. 1:30 a.m. Woof. I would be in bed at this point. I would be eepy and sleepy. But I am also not a night person. I am a morning person. Ugh, that sucks. That sucks. I had a little trouble sleeping last night too. I also had some weird dreams. Kind of video gamey, kind of realistic. They were spooky. I want to have a Deltarune dream, man. I don't think I've ever had one. It's not one that I can remember. I'll never try. Oh, good grief. Don't tire yourself out too much. And time does get weird when it's out of your usual time sense. It's a real perception thing. Like, I will... Well, stomp! Well, you stomped. It was very effective. Oh no, sadness. The gay meter. Let's see, when is my next stretch break? I think I still have some time before that. Mayor Holiday, how do you feel about losing your face? Ah! He's like, I'd rather avoid that if I can. Where's her other arm? I guess it's under her. Maybe it's under here. Just imagine, we might get some more Suzelles in the next chapters. In fact, I suspect we shall. In less than 10 days. Ah! Yeah, probably in chapter 4. I'm not expecting much in chapter 3. I think for chapter 3 we'll be focused on Chris's family. Chris's family drama. Oh no. At least in the weird route. Man, just thinking like, you know, I have this sneaking suspicion that we're not going to get the cops in chapter 3 because they're going to be busy with something. And that Asgore might show up to chapter 3 instead. And what if, you know, regardless of what, you know, ever is happening in the weird route that's keeping them busy, what if the reason why they don't show up in the weird route is because Burley's family calls like, hey, Burley never came home today. Where is my son? Kind of thing. Which, uh-oh. Burley does not seem the type to just kind of hang out and stuff, unless his family really ignores him and is like, whatever, Burley, I'm sure he's fine. I think they'll notice by the next day if he's not there or not. I feel like that would be quite a difference if they only don't come on the weird route. That would be a lot of rewriting. Shenanigans ensue. I just don't think we're going to get either Undyne or Napstablook. I could be totally wrong. It seems like that's the intention. But, I don't know. I have my suspicions that we might not get the police. But I'm sure we will get more Chris lore in chapter 3. Chris, why did you make the fountain? Tell us. They probably will not tell us. And we will not find out for a while. But even just more backstory as to how they grew up with the Dreamers. That would be nice. Well, I think it's already clear that they have a interest in Susie. It could impact in some way. I'm not sure if we're going to be getting a hospital Dark World or not. Maybe, but I'm mostly having this sense of like, yeah, it's nice to think about where a Dark World could be in terms of like, oh, what would be fun to explore, and what has double doors and all that. But I also feel like we have to consider, where can you recruit from? Because we're supposed to be recruiting from all the places we do Dark Worlds at. What has objects that we can, you know, take to the to Castletown? Watch, we don't recruit Tina because we took it seriously to kill your TV. She's angry. She's so angry. I'm actually not quite certain what guesses I have for Chapter 5 Dark World yet. Feels very up in the air for me. Yeah, that would feel like a bit of a cop-out. Although, if he is, like, not dead, or comatose or whatever, and then, or sick or something, and then wakes up from it, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna assume that, you know, oh, that was all just a dream and I got sick, or is he gonna be like, hey, I had this weird thing happen where, Chris and Noelle attacked me? Birthday got isekai to Undertale. And then he still doesn't show up in the main quest. Well, I don't think they're going to smash up Toriel's living room. They didn't smash up the computer lab. And they had a big old giant robot fight there. So it seems like they can at least keep the light world intact most of the time. That kind of depends. I just don't think that Toriel's gonna be like, sure, Chris, you can empty out the house. That's why I think she might only let Chris take the TV, because I think she'd be fine losing the TV. Yeah. I don't think Chris is emptying everything out of the house, which is why I don't really agree with the like, and then we're gonna go to the bathroom, and then we're gonna go to Toriel's room, finally see what's inside there, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen. Especially this is supposed to be a pretty non-standard chapter. I think we're going to be pretty focused on just the TV. Like maybe there'll be a few other elements, like obviously the gingerbread men are going to be armor pieces. And even then, that's not like a darkener. That goes into the inventory. The pie, you should have finished me. I don't think any of us know who the secret boss is. Well, I mean, Ralsei already gave them a room. It's just in Castletown. It's supposed to be like an imitation of their own room, but better. Well, they can access it more consistently than they could now. If they have to If they have to close this dark fountain, then they're not going to be able to access it. I assume they're not leaving this one open. You'd have to have two fountains going at once. I don't think Rouse would approve of that. Rouse so selfish. Alright, I need to take a stretch break. Well, Mayor takes a bone break. Ow. And he's also like, here are your new rooms, Chris and Susie. No, go do your homework. Go do it. You can hang out in your cool rooms in a secret castle after you've done your homework. No. I don't want the memes to be true. Let your memes be memes. Now please don't let your memes be dreams. Your dreams be memes. I don't remember what the thing is. I loved his banger post. That was so good. The way that the scream at the end was cut off at just the right moment. Very good. I love the cheap Windows Movie Maker stuff. Just the numbers scrolling across the screen. For like prime shit posting. People put out so many shit posts. I'm like, no, you don't understand the art of the shit post. The scream still gets me. Just immediately cut off. I love any Windows Movie Maker jokes. Like when that showed up in Stanley Parable, I just died laughing. Ooh, flowers for the bees. Thank you for coming to the stream. Appreciate you being here. We'll do a big stretch, then we might do a slightly longer section for our next one. Are we on 5? Yeah. Yeah, just perfect editing, perfect timing. The way the music sounds like it's coming through like, you know, your old desktop computer speakers. Little chunky. Not too bit crushed, but just like a little bit crushed. It's really funny. I hope we get more silly posts. Yeah, we got quite a few. Last week we got that one. We got the Gui. How do you pronounce that? Gui? I'm guessing it's Gui. Enemy, the ghosty guy. Which then everybody decided was Birdley's dust, and I'm like, I don't think it's that. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's just a ghosty guy. I don't think it's Birdley. I don't think so. Okay. I will be right back for one more stretch and all that goodness. Alfie, it's your job. Entertain everybody. From your position on the rock. It's your job. I am returning. I don't know that it's birdly related. I'll be honest. I don't know that it is. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Okay, I'll just put it this way. I don't think that they are sharing anything that is Weird Root related in the main promo stuff. I don't think there's anything in that that is going to show up in just the regular promos. Might get a little bit of that in the ARG, like with the, chapter number things. I don't think they're advertising the Weird Root at all in the main promos. I just don't think that's happening. I think that's part of what makes it an interesting route is that it is not advertised the same way that it's not being advertised the same way that the genocide route is in Undertale, where it's like you can kill them or you can spare them. You can do either of those. So if the Gwei or whatever were related to Birdly being hurt in the Weird Route, I don't think they would show them in as much as they have. I just don't think that's going to happen. It kind of ruins the whole weird playground rumor vibe of the Weird Route. And yeah, everybody's aware of the secrets now, but what made it so creepy and cool was that we didn't know at the time and you just discovered it on your own. Yeah, maybe it was like barely referenced in the sweepstakes when you could ask Phantom things, but I'm not even sure it was in that sense. But in things for things in which they are advertising the game, I don't think they're going to use anything that is Weird Root exclusive or Weird Root related to advertise it. I'll just say that. I don't know. I feel like it was way less of us. It's not treated as something that as a secret in Undertale. It was explicitly said, hey, you can be nice to the monsters or you can kill them. Whether or not you kill all of them is another issue, but like being able to kill the monsters. Okay, yeah, as part of like Phantom sweepstake stuff, that's a bit of a gray area. Since that's, kind of canon, but also kind of not. And it's also, again, not really used as an advertisement for the game. It's for ARG purposes. But yeah, I don't think that they are advertising anything Weird Root in the main game. For like trying to sell the game to the audience kind of thing. Because if you think about it, we've gotten very, very little like hints of anything, honestly, so far. As to what happens. We've got little bits here and there. Yeah, I think it's a church thing. I think it's something related to the church. I mean, heck, I saw the, this is about souls that are not properly buried, and I'm like, Garrison? My theory, Garrison? That is something that could apply to both. Yeah. It is still definitely treated differently than the weird root is, which is treated again as something that should not be possible. Like the Geno root in Undertale is treated as not impossible, but it's obscure. Whereas the weird root, again, is kind of treated as a creepypasta of this should not be possible for you to do, but you're doing it anyway if you follow just the right set of steps. It's very creepypasta-esque. It's very easy to leave the weird root. Barely advertised, but it is not treated as something, again, it's not treated as something hidden or weird. It is treated as obscure, that you have to work for it. It does not have the same vibe. Yeah. And like I would even say it's easier to abandon the weird root than it is the Geno root. Like the Geno root will stop if you don't kill certain monsters, whereas the weird root will stop if you give the wrong reply in a text. If you give the wrong dialogue choice, then the root ends. You got to be very specific for the weird root. Yeah, like the weird root is portrayed as breaking the story. This should not be possible, kind of thing. Again, I think part of the mystique is that it is not advertised. It is not. Again, it was not talked about at all as something that was even possible to do before the chapter 2 came out. That was something people had to find all on their own. Yeah. Like basically once you freeze Birdly, you're locked in for that. But you do have to get to that point. Again, if you do not give the proceed dialogue check on several different points, if you're at any point Chris is no, it's fine, I'll do it, then the root's done. I mean, I don't know if Sans is chill with that. He's just okay, this sucks, but you didn't kill everybody. He's still mad about other things, mostly Papyrus. You're a serial killer, but not a world ender, I guess. Okay. You still suck, but you could have sucked more. And I guess I'll acknowledge that, if nothing else. Really, you spared one Vulcan. A Vulcan is what it took you. A Vulcan. Not determined enough for an absolute end. You spared only the Vulcans. I just like them. What's wrong with you? Is she hanging out with her? Well, congrats, you're a fart face. He's always watching. Always watching. Sparing Jerry doesn't count towards Geno root, though. Jerry is so annoying. Or rather, ditching Jerry counts as killing him, I guess. It still counts you on the route. Because if you actually kill Jerry, it takes forever. He's got like ridiculously high defense. So you're just kind of chipping away at him while he yells at you about how annoying you are. Jerry, why is your defense that high? No, running from enemies doesn't count as sparing them. But with Jerry, you can ditch him, and that counts, I guess, as same as not sparing him. The Jerry Bridge incident. Only Jerry Gino run, true. I left you a friend. It was Jerry. Maybe I was. I know I've seen him. I don't remember which run he did where he was just trying to tackle a bunch of Jerrys, and it was just so many Jerrys. They take forever. Especially with the weapons you have at the time. It's like, I don't know, 7 HP per hit. It's ridiculous. We don't even have Jerry. Jerry. We just played Battle on the Big Bridge, but instead it's Jerry on the Big Bridge. Jerry after Jerry. Jerry doesn't even get to be in Eldritchrune. There's just Terry, whom everybody likes. Maybe Lesser Dog. Poor Lesser Dog. I always feel so bad seeing the Dogamy and Doggeressa Geno route, because people take out Doggeressa first and then Dogamy is just like really sad. No one would give Jerry a ride back in town. Jerry will not survive the winter without his Wi-Fi. That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like always when you're on your bridge, you get that group of 3 with, I think it's Ice Cap and Snowdrake and, Jerry, usually. Wants to attack you, Jerry. Has anybody made a remix of Battle on the Big Bridge, but it's Jerry on the Big Bridge? Wouldn't be surprised if it's a set order. Didn't Magnolia Porter design Jerry? I'm trying to remember who designed Jerry now. He's so specifically doofy. Sorry, her leg got super messed up. It's a bloody mess. You did Snowdrake? Although obviously if you're doing a Geno route, you know, you wouldn't have Snowdrake, you'd have Chilldrake. Yay, overtime's done! Not overtime ads. Bah. It seems like in general with Undertale Deltarune games that they're very particular about which enemies you encounter where. Everywhere is Adland. No escape. I'm betting one of my bingo card will come true. We'll get like a 90s commercial reference. Personally, I'm rooting for you'll get caught up in the crossfire. Crossfire. We already got that a little bit with the Spamton sweepstakes. We got some 90s ads things there. I remember those Pure Moods CDs. We're going to scroll them along the screen. Yep, I think that's what music is. That's annoying. I get a lot of diaper ads, and I'm like, is this because I call my lizard Alfie's baby boo? Do you think I have an actual human baby in my house who requires diapers? Include subscribe, and then you'd be free of the ads. But I know subscriptions can be hard to do. That's what the diapers are for, the lizards. I don't think I could put one on her. She's too small. And she would not go in it. She's like, I'm a lizard. I will go wherever the heck I want. Well, I've heard some people have some luck, maybe sometimes like a litter box training a lizard, a beardy. I don't remember how they did it, but yeah, I think you can potentially train a lizard to use a litter box. Yeah, that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work to do. I try and avoid overtime if I can help it. And we're back to doing 14-hour days a while ago, which was not fun. Oh no, pooped in your lap. Oh no. She has tried to poop on me sometimes, but I've caught her before she does it. I'm like, oh no, you don't. I'm moving you over here. Yeah, no, the reason I was doing those days was because, so this was, I had just started on My Little Pony, and I was, at the time, still in the U.S., working remotely, but I was planning to move up to Canada to work. So, I was going to move, like, not long after my birthday in July. Bearded dragons generally do not have designated toilet areas, no, they will go wherever they want. But I was planning to move up in mid-July, like right after my birthday. And, before then, I was like, okay, I've got to, move out of my current apartment and get ready to move internationally to Canada. So I was gonna move out of my apartment for when the lease was up at the end of the month, stay at my parents' place for a couple weeks, and then I would move up to Canada. So I'm like, I gotta pack the house and everything and get rid of all this furniture and stuff like that. And then at the same time, this was early July, and I was still planning to go to some conventions, namely Anime Expo and San Diego Comic-Con, which are both giant 5-day cons, huge cons. One of them I was selling it and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, in the 6 or 7 weeks I have to do this episode, I have 2 giant conventions in there that are going to take up massive amounts of time, and I'm also moving out of my current apartment, and I have to pack and clean and all that stuff. And that essentially cuts my time to work on this episode in half, because I've got so much other stuff to do. So I'm like, okay, then I'll just do it in half the time. And I did, and I never want to do that again. It was very stressful. Especially since it was my second episode overall, and it was a musical. Musicals always take a very long time to do. They require a ton of drawing. So yeah, that's why I was doing 14-hour days. I was literally getting up and starting work at like 7 a.m. Would go until like 10 or 11 in the evening. Just kept going, wouldn't stop. Because I knew I had to, because I'm like, I only have half the time I normally would. I'm too busy doing other stuff. I did it, and again, I don't ever want to do it again. It was really stressful and bad, and I look back and I'm like, why did I do that? I mean, I know why I did it, but also, why did I do that? That was insane. Well, if you watch the Christmas Carol Ponies episode, I did that under great stress. At least my part of it. I don't want to do that again. I don't think I can do that again with my wrist. Not possible. Yeah, it was a fun episode, but it was stressful to work on at the time. It was good. A lot of the reason why it was good was also my partner did some. She got the really cool song. She did some good stuff with that. But we did try our best. Just, again, I don't want to replicate those circumstances. Those were very stressful circumstances. Not to mention the fact that, our family dog died right before I moved up, like the day before. It was, that was quite upsetting. Don't recommend that either. I think that was after I'd already finished it, so at least I wasn't in the middle of work, but I was like, again, preparing to move to a new country. Which is already an extremely stressful situation. And she's missing half of her antler. No, that's not healthy. No. She's gonna burn out if she keeps doing that. That's not healthy. Again, I managed those days. They weren't fun or good. They weren't healthy for me. You don't want to overwork yourself. You're gonna have an early heart attack. That's not safe. That's not safe. Not safe to do. We have our breaks and stuff for a reason. I mean, I understand the drive to be like, oh, I really want to do this. I got to work on it and such, but you have to take care of yourself. You will, in fact, hurt yourself if you do that too much. Yeah, exactly. You will think you are doing fine. You're like, oh, I'm doing fine. And then all of a sudden, your legs will fall out from under you. We have physical and mental limits. And Carol is reaching hers with smashed in foot. But we have our days off for a reason. Why are we drifting? I mean, heck, I believe they've done studies showing that basically our peak performance in terms of like work productivity kind of stops after about like 5 to 6 hours. After that, your productivity drops off on like per day. So the ideal workday should be less than what we're doing now. That post that time, your productivity is just not worth it. And that's about average for most people. Wait, they lay eggs like chickens. No. Alphys, you wouldn't even lay eggs. You had a ton of eggs and you wouldn't even lay them. You made me get you surgery because you had all those eggs inside you and you're like, I'm never letting go of these eggs. Never. I made you a big old thing to lay your eggs in. You still didn't go. She's just looking at me smugly like, yep, I didn't lay a single egg. You know, she really does not need to hold on to all of her eggs. That's actually not healthy. Because then the eggs can get like reabsorbed and cause problems and infection. Which is why she got spayed. She got surgery and they're like, there were so many eggs in this lizard that she would just not lay. It is unhealthy to put all eggs in one Alphys. True. Alphys is true. I don't know why you didn't want to lay those eggs. I got a big old, like, they said, okay, if you want, you know, the lizard to lay eggs and stuff, even if they're not fertilized, you get them a big old, basically like box or tub that's full of wet sand, and then usually they will like kind of dig a hole in the wet sand, and that's where they will lay the eggs, because they tend to want to lay eggs in like some soft ground that they can bury them in, and then later they'll hatch out. But she didn't do that. I gave her a nice big old box full of wet sand and some warm light above, and I'm like, okay, now you can dig a hole and lay those eggs. And she just stood there, and then eventually was like, well, I don't like this, and tried to climb out of the box. I'm like, girl, what is going on with you? But now she has no eggs. We took them all out. Alphys, you were full of so many eggs. That's what they said. I guess she does have higher standards for egg boxes, but I don't breed dragons. I don't know what else you gotta do to get them to go. I know they have like all these special like boxes you can get or whatever that are for, you know, getting the dragons to breed and then getting them to lay eggs. And then usually what happens when they do that is like if you are breeding dragons, you know, you put them in a special little box where the male and the female will be like, okay, nothing else to do in here, let's breed. And then give them another special box, you know, warm wet sand, so that the female will lay the eggs and then bury them. And then you, the person who actually wants those eggs, will dig them out and put them in an incubator, and then they get incubated. And once the mom lays the eggs, she's like, I'm done. My work here is done. They'll be fine on their own. Okay. But Alphys, your egg standards were too high. We had to get you spayed. Here's the question. Do you think Mayor Holiday has learned her lesson in all of this? Namely, don't sacrifice your children to a demon. Don't do it. Life lessons from Eldritchrune. Don't sacrifice your children to demons. I guess there's a lesson here for us all. I know, no one teaches you this in parenting class. How could she have possibly known not to do this? I eventually need to do another Asriel investigate scene, get a little bit more expositional lore out into the world. Because he's gonna have to figure out at one point. I think my parents might have sacrificed my adopted sibling to a demon. I think this is a thing that might have happened. They especially aren't mandatory medieval wherever this is. Medieval sir not appearing on this map. Medieval fantasy whatever. Not clickbait. Demon summoning classes for teens. Mayor Holiday accidentally clicked on the demon summoning classes for adults. Fortunately, did not get a good deal off of that. The reason why this is taking so long is I have to draw all these bruises all over the character. Good grief. Hot female Santas in your area. There was some blood behind her, wasn't there? Not. That's down. Down a little further. Made a demon deal with rules. I don't know. I think that might have gone a little worse for Chris. Yep. Although that is the next scene I wanted to work on. I at least started but didn't finish it. But the next regular scene was going to be one with rules. And with K-Round. Well, I wonder if that'll get put by the wayside too if I finish the new chapters and it's like, oh no, I wanted something from 3 and 4. I'm sure we'll have time for both. Eventually. The Rules one is at least funnier, obviously, because Rules is a funny guy. And we will be seeing him in the next chapters. We know that for sure. Hopefully with even sillier accents. Let's keep collecting 1,000,000 bad accents. Make life really hard for the localizers for Japan. The better dad. I also hope that Lancer just keeps collecting dads. He gets a dad collection by the end. What kind of dad would Tenna be? TV dad. Game show dad. Queen is the best dad. Jeez, girl dad. Since I am his mother. When was that decided? Right now, arbitrarily. I hope we get the Aunt Tenna idea. I think that'd be fun. Like, the pun's right there. But I don't know if Tenna's going to be a guy or a girl. Or maybe another NB. I just like the idea of a obnoxious producer or, you know, film mom. Probably because I read what's her name? Like Gene McCarthy's book recently, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. A guy can be an aunt if they want, true. Nothing's stopping them. You believe it in your heart, a guy can be an aunt. I feel like it'd have to be an aunt because Uncle Tenna is not quite the same. We want the puns, the pun names. But I don't know. Part of me is a little worried that maybe we won't have Tenna in Castletown. We won't get to recruit them because we have the, you know, kill your TV thing going on. No one will shed a tear for him. What if we don't get to recruit Tenna? I miss Tenna. It is a good book. It is a good book. I read the book and it's good. It's not an easy read though. It is pretty rough. It was enlightening, but it was also a sad book for obvious reasons. I was like, oh my goodness, a person should not have to go through that. Yeah, and the whole I miss Tenna thing, I'm like, what if we don't recruit Tenna? What's going to happen to Tenna if they don't get recruited? We know we recruit some Chapter 3 people because the Shadowmen are there. So I don't think it's a nobody gets recruited thing, but why would we not recruit him? What's his gonna be thing? Oh yeah, it's gonna expand again. We know we're gonna recruit some people to the castle because the Shadowmen are there. But I'm a little worried that Tenna might not be there. I feel like we've gotten a couple of hints that for some reason he's not going to make it. And I'm not sure why. If a janitor needs to get the mop from the closet, bring your own mop. She's got a leg up in the situation. Wah, wah. Mayor Holiday's the one that needs a leg up now. Ah. She's about to go in for a performance. Break a leg. Oops. wah. Let's see if we get on to page 8 here. I think I'm just gonna go through and I'll stretch when we're done with this stream, which will be in about 20 minutes or so. It's a stare down. Here Holiday's like, I will dissuade you away from this with my words. Well, actually, she's not even trying to dissuade her away from it. Miss, still Mayor Holiday's going through a bad time. And it's about to get worse. And also all kinds of talk about other things. Rudy just has to stand back there and watch. Also not a fun position to be in. Sans image, you're gonna have a bad time, true. I kind of wonder if we will have Megalovania show up in Deltarune or not. Yeah, hopefully this is even better with all the dialogue. There's quite a bit of it. They do have things to say for each other, even if a lot of that saying is, well, just stomping on her. Nobody suspects the giant ice deer. I'm also pretty sure the layout of all this debris has changed a couple times, but oh well. Unless I'm working from a model or something, it's a little hard to keep track of. There's one advantage is working in animation is usually you have like a model to work from. Make sure the backgrounds are right. Flashback time! I'll do it for 15. Oh, Spamton battle. And I think it'd be fun to do it for here, for Eldritchrune as well, just because I think that's one people would really anticipate doing, but I want to make sure I do it right. So I need a good idea for it. It's fun doing the Addisons at least. And having Rouse get to be a bit spooky. You need to do more stuff also with Rouse being spooky so that when we get to the climax, sufficiently built up is Rouse spookiness. Everybody's gotta be spooky. Just like the spooky sword. Kinda sad they took the trefoil out of the game. I wonder why they did that. Seems like that'd be a nice weapon for Chris to have. Lucky pencil. Now she also angry. I know she kind of has more of a wolf mouth than a deer mouth. It's fine. Don't think about it too hard. Yeah, missed the mark on that. Alright, have a good lunch and a good walk. Thank you for coming to the stream. Because yeah, I'll probably be done fairly soonish. Yeah, I don't think Mayor Holiday is ahead here either. Quit while you're behind. Just quit. Give up. Not as behind. About to be very behind. She got stomped, then she gonna get chomped. That's the classic chomp and stomp. I don't know if that's classic, but it is now, I guess. Classic chomp and stomp sounds more Susie's style, really, but she's not here right now. I like this rendition of the song. Ugh. I also need more water. Ooh. And because her leg got broke, unfortunately she cannot get out of the way of this. I'm sure something's going to happen in canon that's going to make like this scene in the future extremely awkward. Canon's going to come back to bite me some way, just like Noelle is right now. Wah wah. Especially since we haven't met Mayor Holiday at all yet. And someday we need to. Hopefully in just a few days. This is not how I say I love you in Dinosaur. My big scary lizard GF taught me how to do this. Well, she already knew how to do it. Susie can probably still do it better, though. Nobody does it like the Suze. fill all that in. It's going to take forever. We'll just use it with regular shading later. Guess we'll find out. Alright, I don't think we'll be able to finish page 8, but we can get a little bit into page 8. So, up to 7 cleans done, not too bad. This is the longest part so far, though. This is 11 pages. Whereas the other ones so far have mostly been around between like 7 and 9. And hopefully nothing else is as long as 11. And the text box right there. Okay. Well, when we finish 7, we can do a tiny bit on 8 before we're done. I'm scared. Rudy's like, please do not. Cease. Desist. Yeah, I'll see how far I can get, because I do have to stop definitely before noon, because I've got some other stuff to do today. Make sure I have time to do it. Yes, like I said, this is one of the more violent parts. Okay, I don't know if it's top one, but it's in the... it's up there. Well, I don't know. I feel like almost the stepping on the smashing her leg in was kind of worse for me. I don't know. Stuff that feels like it can really happen to you is in some way scarier. I'm not worried about getting eaten by a giant deer monster, but something smashing my leg could happen in real life. Building following on me is technically possible. Just unlikely if the building following me is because a giant deer monster pushed it over. I'll push you over. Or knocked her face into it, rather. Woo-doo-doo-doo. I have not seen Danganronpa. I think I only got spoiled on like part 1. But considering that's like kids getting murdered in the series too, I don't know if it's like, oh no, scandalous. Kids are getting murdered in the child murder series? Wow. Yeah, exactly. It's the stuff that's more realistic that is like, ooh, it kind of feels more visceral than like monster violence, because you know that's not real. For the characters, it's very real right now, but to us, the audience, less so. Well, all you can do is what you want to do. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. All you gotta do is warn for it, and you're good. And if people don't like it, then that's their problem. Yeah, this one will get warnings. Not all of the ending parts have content warnings, but a lot of them do. But that's because it's been set up that way. And yet I'm still like, how could I make things have been even worse for Chris in the Dark World? Whee! It's extremely funny that for Eldritchrune I'm like, yes, we'll have all these horrible things happening to the characters. And yet in canon I'm like, no, I don't want horrible things to happen. If the horrible things happen, they have to be fixed very quickly. Like, I don't want a sad ending. In canon, anyway. Bittersweet's fine. Good grief, how did I do this? It's not possible to rotate my canvas in this version of Photoshop, so maybe stuff looks a little wrong. I just realized her leg should be broken in that. It's not. I gotta break her leg again. Yeah, it's easier just to creator chose not to archive warnings. Just like, there might be stuff in here you find objectionable. And at least on AO3 I put into the beginning notes any content warnings that I can think of. Warning, get chomped on by giant deer monster. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Grief. I'm not even sure how I was doing this. Maybe this will help. We can turn off one of these layers. Might be a bit gritty. Like the mascot in Philadelphia. I don't know why I'd have to go with a regular leg here. Her leg's supposed to be broken. It was already smashed. Like Smash Burger. Which I don't think they have up here. Oh jeez, I forgot. Like, where did her under thing goes? Because I turned off that layer. Okay, I was trying to figure out what I drew here. I'm doing all this on special lines. I have. Okay, whatever. We're doing the old switcheroo. I might have to stop after this panel though, so I do have stuff to do. So we may not get to see her get fully chomped. Well, we just see the rest of the page she gets fully chomped. This is how monsters glomp you. Remember glomping? I remember that. I remember that. What was I? Good grief! I'm gonna have to like turn. I might have to turn this thing around. I don't know. Don't make me turn this scene around. Just ridiculously hard to draw from this angle. I wish I could rotate my canvas, but look. Wait, I can rotate my canvas! Whoa! Whoa! When did that happen? Whoa! I'm having way too much fun now. Whee! Finally, I can rotate this stupid canvas. For the longest time, I couldn't do that. Whoa! That's exactly how this scene is happening in real life. Whee! Whoa! Man, the last version I used, I couldn't rotate the dang canvas. Hooray! I can rotate that canvas. Hooray! I'm so happy about this as Carol's dying horribly. Whee! Finally. Yay! Sorry, Carol, you're about to get horribly chomped. I'm just too happy because I can rotate this stupid canvas. Huzzah and hooray about that today. Ah, some line work's gonna be even better once we add sound effects and there's screaming involved. Whee! Hooray! Ah. Question is, can I, there we go. Shift. Yay! Rip Mayor Holiday. She getting chompa-chomped. She getting chompa-chomped. Turn up the goodness for you all to see. Yay! She get eaten by a giant deer monster. Again, I'm sure something's going to happen in canon that's going to make this scene very awkward. Because that would be my luck. But that's where we are right now. And I have been drawing... Yeah, I say, good luck, voice dubbers. Good luck with this one. Yes, I need you to scream like you're being eaten by a giant deer monster. Then again, that could be fun to do with Foley. Like you get a big thing of lettuce and you're like, and you break the lettuce between your hands or something. Or just, bite into an apple really close to the mic. You get a good crunch. I'm not a Foley artist, but it seems like that would be fun. It's like, how could I do this noise with objects around my house? I'm sorry, I'm just excited about the fact that I can rotate the canvas now. It's not yelling at me anymore. We're gonna have to stop on Carol in the middle of Carol getting eaten though, because I have a few other things I gotta do at certain times, so I must stop now. I mean, that's still how they do sound effects today. Like if you're having something getting crunched, you're still doing that by snapping a thing of celery into the microphone. Looks delicious. Exactly. Even if humans are not her preferred food, they're full of bones and stuff. She's making an exception. It's like, alright, time for everybody to break for lunch. Get it? Break for lunch. Bones are getting broken and it's lunchtime. I know, nobody shares behind the scenes stuff for animation anymore. It's so sad. It's so sad. I like seeing that kind of stuff. Show me the magic. Nobody wants to share the magic anymore of filmmaking like they did with those Lord of the Rings things. Okay. Oh, man, it's warm. It's starting to get warm. Who would have guessed? A few days before June it would be warm. Holy cow. Probably because I'm in pants. But yes, this is where I'm going to have to stop for now. Right in the middle of the worst part for Carol. I'm not sure if we'll finish this on stream or not. But I'll probably, again, unless another game comes up that I want to do on Friday, there will probably be another art stream on Friday. Because it'll be the Friday right before new Eldritchrune. Yeah, I love commentaries on DVDs. I stopped doing DVD commentary, so sad. Yeah, I'll probably be doing another art stream on Friday. Probably be more Eldritchrune. Maybe it'll be more of this scene, but it might just be more of another scene. I've got tons of stuff spread across many parts to tackle. Maybe we'll, if I am able to get the roughs done, maybe on Friday we'll move on to another part with still monsters eating people, but it's funny instead of sad. with Birdly and Caddy. There's a scene after this with them. Maybe we'll get to that, but that depends on if I finish the roughs in time, which may or may not happen. That depends. What if eating people was funny? Well, as funny as it can be in this situation. Ugh. Okay. But yeah, sadly, that is where I need to stop for now. Got a couple of other things to tackle today. Gotta finish Anthrofractal for one. And some other stuff. But yeah, we got through, 7 pages of cleans. That's nothing to sneeze at. So, whew, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. Oh yeah, Memorial Day in the US tomorrow. I forgot. We had a holiday this last week. A different one for the US. So yes, happy long weekend for folks in the US. And in the meanwhile, I need to get some lunch myself. Hopefully something less messy than what Noelle's having right now. And the days are creeping closer to new chapters. And yeah, if you're around on Friday, I might do more art on Friday. Yes, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Relax, enjoy the sunshine if you have it. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Alrighty, I'll see you later.